Hello everyone. Sorry I can't be on to do a Facebook Live tonight. It's actually Nathan's birthday, so I thought that I would do a video ahead of time and give you the link, of course, to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then anytime any new videos are uploaded, you'll be the first to see them. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a card made that I was going to share a couple of weeks ago, but my Facebook Live didn't quite go to plan. I am going to be sharing with you a card using the Softly Stippled Designer Series paper from Celebration. And the second product I'm using from Celebration is Detailed Dogwood Stamp Set. So I'm going to share both of these products with you, and they do coordinate really quite nicely together. The other product I'm using on this card for the sentiment is Go To Greetings, which can be found on page 97 of the annual catalogue. This would probably be my most used sentiment stamp set. Okay, there are the different sizes, but it just covers all your basics. There's birthday, thinking of you, thank you, hello, just a note. So they kind of cover all your basics in one stamp set without it getting too big and too expensive. So let me show you the card. So this is the card that I'm going to be sharing with you. As mentioned, it is using the Detailed Dogwood stamp set and Go To Greetings, which are those two sets just there. Okay, so let's get started. Just pop that to one side. I actually have the correct kit today, so that's really quite nice. Actually, there is a third Celebration product that I'm using, which is this Pool Party ribbon. Let me just find that quickly in the catalogue because it's hidden away just a little bit. Let me see if I can find it. It's in here somewhere. There it is. It's down the bottom of page 6. So it's one that you could easily overlook if you don't pay enough attention. So there it is there. So it's just the Pool Party crinkle ribbon. So it's a little bit wider at 1.6 centimetres. But on this card, we are going to be cinching that in just a little bit with some baker's twine. Okay. But wait, there's more. The other product from Celebration, so it's actually 4 products I'm using. Just here, opaque faceted gems. Okay, that's another one you could quite easily overlook. And there are 3 colours in that packet. There's Calypso Coral, Pecan Pie, and Pool Party. So I've actually gone all out on this one. Quite a few different Celebration products. Okay, so I'm just going to put my little embellishments off to the side. Actually, I'm going to put those straight into my little silicone tray that I've got, a little mat. That does stick onto the glass mat really nicely. I find that it doesn't leave me with a whole lot of room, so I'm just going to pop mine to the side. And I'm also going to put my other ribbons and things over there just for the time being. So this circle that I've pre-cut, this comes from the Stylish Shapes dies, which are a really versatile one. So the other few products I'm using, as I mentioned, I have got here the Softly Stippled, I think it's called, Designer Series paper. Let me just double check the name. I'm not very good with the names of the papers this time around. Yes, Softly Stippled. So they are just 2 of the different papers. And of course you get the reverse side as well, which is slightly different. I've also got 2 pieces of white. So this one measures 10 centimetres by 14.4. They're both the same size. And of course I have my half sheet of A4 for the card base. So I'm going to simply fold this one in half. And remember to use your bone folder just to get that nice crisp crease. And my piece of white, or one of the pieces of white, I'm going to stick straight down onto the card front, and I'm just using Stamp and Seal. So it's actually Monday afternoon at the moment, and it feels really weird doing a video during daylight hours. Okay, so very simple to stick that together. And I hope, because I've actually got my camera turned the other way, or my phone turned the other way, because Facebook has changed how they're doing things, and I actually aren't able to do my Facebook Lives in landscape anymore. So I'm hope that I'm being in landscape doing a video. I hope that I'm actually within the field of the camera. So my piece of Designer Series paper, which measures 2 centimeters, I've just stuck that along the middle, and as always I just have that little bit to trim off. Okay, next I'm going to put my ribbon on. Now, a lot of the time you can put some double-sided tape underneath your ribbon. With this one I'm not going to, because I'm planning on cinching it in using the baker's twine. So to hold this in place, I'm going to put some sticky tape. So just tuck it behind and sticky tape. And you don't need to pull this too tight. If you do, when you cinch it in, it's going to bow a little bit, or your paper will bow just slightly. So there we go. So there is that. And once you get everything sitting over the top, that's going to sit down really quite nicely. I'm now going to put this onto my card front. Just get some of these other bits out the way. And I'm going to be using some dimensionals for this bit. I have got my take your pick tool, and that just makes it a whole lot easier for me to pick up these mini dimensionals. And of course there are the standard size dimensionals, which are pretty much double this size, which are great as well. They all work the exact same way, it's just personal preference. I often have a packet of each open on my table, and then I just choose the size that I need. And of course I have used the pick tool to stab into the backing papers and to get those off really quickly. Okay, and so this is going to be centered over the top. Okay, so we are up to that bit there, and just while I'm going, while I've got my adhesive out, my second piece of white I'm going to stick on the inside, and then we're just dealing with the last couple of pieces to finish off this card. Okay, so there is that. I'm just going to pop that one aside just for now. Okay, so now I've got to do a little bit of stamping. So I have got with me Calypso Coral, which is the same colour as the Designer Series paper. So that's what I'm using for the sentiment. And I've also got Memento Black to use to stamp the image. So let me grab this out. And you will need a slightly bigger block for this to fit on, and I'm using the E size block. Alternatively, if you don't have a big enough block, stick it onto your mat or onto the table, and then you can go over the top with everything. Let me just move a couple of these things out of the way. So, a bit of fluff on my stamp. Okay, so I do have my ink going. So you want to give your stamp a really good ink up. And of course, being a slightly bigger stamp, you're going to have to move it around, just your ink pad around a little bit. And I've got my circle, and it's going to go around about there. So a bit of pressure. and lift that up. Now, as you can see with my glass mat, you do get that extra bit of ink straight away. This is just a tissue that I've got sitting on the table. You can also use a chamois, and I'm just going to wipe up that bit of black ink with the tissue. As I mentioned, it does come with the chamois as well, which mine is here. This is all dry, so you can wet them and use them, of course. And when they dry, they just dry a little bit hard, but you just have to wet that and it's ready to go again. But I forgot to do that before we started, but the tissue has wiped away that excess ink. Okay, while I'm stamping, I am also going to stamp my greeting, which is just the hello. As I mentioned, it is out of the Go-To Greetings stamp set. And of course, you could make this a happy birthday or a thinking of you or just a note. But hello you can use for absolutely anything. And then of course you can go ahead and stamp a different sentiment on the inside. Now, one of the bonus things about using a circle, if I hadn't have stamped that quite straight, I just could have lined that up when I go to put it on the card front to make that sentiment straight. So we do have a little bit of colouring in to do. Let me just get some of this stuff out the way. And I'm actually going to be using some watercolour pencils, and you can use whatever colour medium you like. So this is assortment 1 and 2 of the watercolour pencils. These come in a cardboard box, but I've just put mine in a wood mount stamp case. Or you can put them in a different sort of pencil case or a container. I find that I just keep them all in the one container, and I also have in there as well my pencil sharpener. So I am using Calypso Coral, and they do have the names on them if you haven't seen these before. I'm also going to be using Granny Apple Green, which is that nice vibrant green, and I'm also got Pecan Pie, which I'm using just for the middle of the flowers. So I'm not going to be putting a lot of colour down. I'm just going to pop that there so I can basically colour it the same way. So with my Calypso Coral, I am going to be colouring a little bit in the middle of the flowers, and then around the outside of each of those petals. And you can put more or less colour. There's no hard and fast rule to how you colour. I like having a little bit of white space in mine as well, so don't be afraid to not colour every single little bit. I think I need a darker brown as well. I've got Early Espresso, which I'm going to do that on the sticks. Okay, and colouring in my leaves with Granny Apple Green. So it doesn't take too long, and you don't have to get your colouring perfect when you're watercolouring. And I've also got, oh, wrong colour, we want Pecan Pie. Pecan Pie for the middle of the flowers. Oh, forgot a leaf. Okay, to blend my colour, a lot of you will be familiar with these, a blender pen. So this is a dual tip pen. You need to store these flat in the shelf or in the drawer. You don't want them standing up at one end up in your caddy, because all of the liquid will go to one end and you'll have one end dry. There's no difference between each end. They're the same. It's just you get two ends. You will find that you'll get a little bit of wear and tear on the tips. These are non-refillable and the tips are non-replaceable. So you will get a little bit of staining, but that does not affect how this works. So let me just grab a piece of note paper. And the only reason why I'm getting just my piece of note paper out is between changing colours, you need to clean the tip. To do that, it's really simple. You are just going to run the tip along there. As you can see, there's no colour coming off. So you know that the tip of the blender pen is dry. And all I'm going to do, the bits that I've coloured, I'm going to go over with my blender pen, and all it's doing is just moving and smoothing the colour out. As I mentioned, I do like a little bit of white, but you don't have to do that. So you can just do a rough squiggle and then you can move your ink around a little bit. So I'm hoping that is showing up okay. Before I change colour, I'm just going to gently clean off the tip, and then I'll do the stems or the little sticks. Being a tree, I'm pretty sure dogwood is a tree. And again, cleaning off. And the centre of the flowers, we'll do those as well where we're going. And then we've just got the leaves. So as you can see with the darker colour, you should be able to see that that is cleaning off the tip of my blender pen. And then nice and quick and easy, blending out my colour. Now with these, you could use 2 different greens if you want to, or 2 different pinks on the petals. They are all going to work and they're all going to blend really nicely together. Okay, always when you finish, make sure the tips of the blender pen are clean. That way then when you pick them up for next time, you know they're good. Okay, so I'm going to hold that up just a little bit more. So there you can see that I have blended the colour out a little bit and I've been able to move it around. Right, next I'm going to be sticking this onto my card front using dimensionals. I just need to check because I'm not going to put any in the middle, so I want to make sure it's going the right way. Okay. And that way then I won't have any dimensionals going over the top of the ribbon. So that will do. Make life easy. Stab into your dimensionals and flick the little covers off. Oops, one stayed. There we go. And this is when you get to straighten your sentiment and make sure that's nice and straight with your card. Okay, almost done. Couple more steps to do. I do recommend when you finish using your pick tool, put the cover back over your piercing tool because they've got a little bit of sharpness to them. Okay, so next I've got my bit of Baker's twine, which is from Baker's Twine Essentials, and that is about 22 centimeters of Baker's twine. I'm going to thread that underneath the pool party ribbon and tie a bow. And this is just an ordinary bow. It's just a shoelace, basically a shoelace tie or shoelace bow. Okay, one final step to finish off. I have got here, and I haven't lost them because I'm actually using my little mat that I don't normally use, but it's nice to have here. I've got my little opaque gems, and to easily lift these up, I have got the putty end and just off to the side, and just gently slide those off the backing sheet. Now you can use more or less, but I find that 3 works really nicely. For design, anything in an odd number works really nicely. So you do 3 or 5, but that is, well, it's not quite perfect, but there is the finished card. So I hope you've really enjoyed watching how this card was made. As mentioned, this was one I was going to share a couple of weeks ago on Facebook Live, but grabbed the wrong kit out and then couldn't find the right one. So we ended up doing something different. But this is using 4 different celebration products. So let me just quickly do a recap of those. We have got here the Pool Party Crinkle Ribbon, which is on page 6 of the celebration catalogue. I also used Softly Stippled Designer Series paper, which is on page 8 of Celebration Catalogue, and page 9 you'll find the opaque faceted gems that I used. And the final product is Detailed Dogwood, which is on page 15. Now, just a quick reminder about Celebration. It ends on the 29th of February. So we're talking, you've got until Thursday. If there's anything that you would like, please let me know ASAP, or you can, of course, place an order online at https://jacinta.stampinup.net, which you can find the link to that on my Facebook page. Yes, so you do have until Thursday. I will be placing an order on Thursday evening for anyone who would like help placing their orders. I will be back next week to share something else with you, Facebook Live next Tuesday. So I'll look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks so much. Bye.